Good morning and welcome back. I hope you guys are having a lovely Sunday. So today we are going to do a coffee adventure. So on the farm we actually grow quite a bit of coffee. I think that we probably have about 50 trees. Most of them I planted the first year that I was on the farm. I was a barista at a coffee shop for about 4 years. And I was a manager and I just loved everything about coffee. And now I get to grow and harvest and roast my own. In this video, I'm gonna take you all the way from harvesting the coffee cherry, all the way to roasting and taking the first sip of our farm roasted coffee. Anyways, I hope that you guys come along and enjoy the adventure with me.
Say what you wanna, I will be listening. Say what you gotta, I will be listening.
So this is gonna be our first harvest, and there is quite a bit on here. Probably have enough to brew a couple cups of coffee. So the coffee that we actually grow is called Arabica. There's two different kinds of coffee. There's Robusta and there's Arabica. Arabica is the most popular one. Most of the coffee that you guys get at any coffee shop is gonna be the Arabica. So Zoja and I were just discussing as we're harvesting. She asked a really good question. She asked if any part of the harvest is mechanized as far as like machines. And the answer is usually no, because the coffee all fruits at different times. So it all has to be done by hand. So every single cup of coffee that you drink has been all picked by hand. And it's really important that if you are buying coffee, that you're buying fair trade coffee. So what usually happens is in South and Central America, where the majority of the coffee is grown, there are families that like travel with the harvest, which happens to like a lot of different fruit. But in coffee, they just like follow the coffee harvest up. And so they'll pick, and they're paid based on the weight that they pick. So they'll go through and they'll pick, and they'll get a little ticket that specifies how much they picked. And they won't get money and they won't get paid until that company sells those beans to a roaster or a bigger company. So it could be like months, and it all depends on the market price. So people could be, you know, spending so much of their life picking coffee for a really small amount of money, depending on how the market is doing. So we just got back to our harvest station with our loot, our coffee. We're gonna see how much we have. Anyways, we're gonna separate out the good ones versus the bad ones, and then we're gonna pop them in the jar to ferment. Actually, leave all of the red ones, okay, because the bug might not have made it into the pit. Okay. So we'll just pull out the green ones.
And then we can just separate it after it ferments.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So this is a coffee cherry. It's not a bean, it's a cherry. So the red on the outside is actually edible, so you can like eat it. Spit out the skin or whatever. And then you can kind of like suck on the seeds. It's like a nice little like sweet flavor, very sugary. Auntie's giving me a face because she thinks I'm a weirdo.
I never tried it.
You haven't tried a coffee cherry?
No.
They're good.
Here, Auntie.
Anyways, so a little bit of history. It was actually first originally found in Ethiopia, and it was found by like a goat herder. And he noticed that his goats were eating these berries and like getting really hyper. And so he's like, what's this all about? And so he figured out that he could eat like the cherry and then spit out the seeds. And it was like quite a while later before they figured out that they could like actually roast the beans and make a drink out of it. And that all like originated in like Africa and like, you know, the like Fertile Crescent area. So that's how coffee was first originally discovered. And now we have like all these processes. We have like roasting machines, but you can actually still, once you go through this whole process that I'm showing you now, you can actually just like get green beans and you can roast it in a pan over a fire really easily. You just have to know when to stop. Anyways, we're gonna pop these guys in a little bit of water and have them ferment. The natural sugars inside the coffee cherry will actually create a nice little ferment for us We're gonna let it sit for 3 days, which will give it a little bit of really nice, like kind of blueberry-ish flavor. That's usually what our coffee tastes like, a little bit like blueberries. And then we're gonna pop it in the dehydrator. Any of the cherries that float to the top are bad. So we're gonna go through, and there's actually not that many. So yeah, we're just gonna pick these bad ones off the top. All right, let's pop these in jars to ferment.
Only give it one way, you can tell it to me. And I've sang a bunch and I've talked enough. So this is my time to listen up. Yeah. You got something to say, well go on, tell it to me.
Let those soak for 3 days. See you in a minute.
I woke up and my whole world changed. You're the kind of love that gives me faith. And I believe, I believe.
Jojo, are you drinking that fish water? Okay, so we got all set up. We have our coffee cherries here. They've been fermenting for 3 days. The water's all gross and icky. And we basically just have to squeeze the seed out of the cherry. So coffee beans aren't actually a bean, they're actually a seed. So Zoja and I are gonna go through and do that right now.
Put your hand in my hand, darling, say go.
Okay, so
keep your eyes on the horizon, stay gold. All I need are your eyes, you're my arrow. Now we're running into the wild. I see the light.
So we did 2 jars worth and it filled up this container about that far. Now we need to pop it in the dehydrator. Usually for like big productions of coffee, what they do is they lay it out in the sun and they let it dry by the sun. But every time our coffee season is like ready to go and we're able to harvest, it's raining. So we don't lay ours out and dry in the sun because there's not very much sun and everything molds here really fast. So we're gonna cheat and we're gonna put it in the dehydrator, so that's the next step. It's not super necessary, but it makes me feel better. Coffee beans are in the dehydrator. Now we are going to let them set in there at 140 degrees for about a day and a half. Good morning. So we are going to process all of this coffee that's been in the dehydrator. That's the next step.
Alone in my apartment, I should have seen the warning sign.
Good morning. So it's sunny today and I haven't had a sunny day off in probably a couple weeks. So I'm gonna go meet up with some of the farmies to have lunch. And then I think that we're gonna end up going to the beach.
We're climbing higher,
So we decided to skip on the beach. And I think we're just gonna do a little bit of an art project today. So.
Yeah, that's what we do. We're finally here. I see it so clear. We're up in the clouds like we're heroes. We came from the dust. We never gave up. Just look at us now. Yeah, we're heroes. We won't ever give up now. No, we won't stop now. We won't slow down. Whoa, raise your hands to the wind now. We won't give it now. We'll fight till the end. Now that we're flying. Now that we're flying, flying, flying. Now that we're flying. Now that we're flying, flying, flying. Today's a new day. Hear what I say? We're climbing steadily.
I don't know why that name popped in my head.
Finally here. I see it so clear. We're up in the clouds like we're heroes. We came from the dust.
All right, we're on the last stage of our coffee adventure. We are gonna start the roasting process. We are here in the Cabanchen. We were gonna do it outside, but it started raining, so we're gonna do it inside. So we got this roaster a couple years ago, and it has like two parts. This is just the chafe tray that goes on the inside. So we're gonna stick this in first. And then this is the roasting drum that we're going to pour the coffee into. Alright, join us tomorrow morning as we taste this delicious coffee. I think that we messed up the roast just a little bit, but it should still be good. It's farm fresh coffee. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. What do you think, kitten? Hey, Jojo? What do you think, kitten? Alright guys, thanks for coming along for our coffee adventure. The coffee tastes delicious. Let's Soja and Nico, thank you for your help. If you guys have any comments or questions, make sure that you write them down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next Sunday. A hui ho.